Last night, the Giants needed a stopper, and Jake Peavy did the job, continuing his hot streak as San Francisco took Game 2 of the series with a 2-1 win over the D-backs. Today, the Orange and Black will look for more of the same from their ace, Madison Bumgarner. 11 games left in the regular season. Every game is huge. Bumgarner against the D-backs, and it's next. Day baseball here in the desert as we come to you from Chase Field. This will be the final game of this three-game series, Giants and D-backs. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, each team has won a game in this series. Now the winner will win the series. But more importantly, the Giants will be keeping an eye on what's going on in Colorado with the Dodgers. But it's Madison Bumgarner, and that's always usually a good day for the Giants.
Well, you're right. It's been a pretty good day here at Chase Field for the Giants in general. They haven't lost a series here to the Diamondbacks since 2012 April. So you like that. But anytime you flip the ball to Madison Bumgarner, you like that as well. Here's a guy who likes the limelight. He likes the big game. A chance to nail down this series going into an off day. It's what this season is all about. And Madison Bumgarner, by the way, going for win number 19. A chance to win 20 this year. A lot of things happening, a lot of good things.
Yeah, should be fun, and then the Giants will head to San Diego. Madison Bumgarner, he is on the hill for the Giants this afternoon. Stay tuned. We'll take you to our Comcast Sportsnet studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this.
Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Here at Chase Field, the D-backs have taken the field as we get ready for Giants baseball. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open weekends. 90 degrees outside, 76 inside. Humidity at 51%, and the roof is closed. The Giants starting lineup is brought to you by Coors Light. It'll be Blanco, Arias, and then Buster Posey. And his numbers at first base are very good. Pence, Sandoval, and Susac. Crawford's going to hit 7th, Perez 8th, and Bumgarner 9th.
On the hill today for the Arizona Diamondbacks will be the left-hander Andrew Chafin. Chafin, a 6'2", 220-pound, 24-year-old rookie. And this is what he has done, combining at two levels, AA and AAA this year. 25 starts, 9-7 with a 4.08 ERA. He is red hot in the playoffs for Reno, their AAA affiliate. He won 2 ball games, went 15 innings, did not give up a run. And when he's right, apparently you'll see a low 90s fastball with a slurvy breaking ball and a changeup. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Chafin. Starting the D-backs outfield from left to right, it's going to be Inciarte, Pollock, and Ross. That's your outfield. Ahmed and Hill on the left side of the infield. Owens and Trumbo on the right side. Tuffy Gozowicz will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Blanco. Blanco waiting, and the pitch, and it's outside. So we get started right on time. D-backs do a good job of starting things when they're supposed to. Blanco takes a breaking ball that misses somewhere, and it's 2-0. The home plate umpire, by the way, is Lance Barrett. Demuth, Woodring, and Culpa from first to third. And the 2-0 pitch to Blanco is a called strike, so it's 2-1.
Yeah, Lance Parrott's big strike zone too. We saw a good one last night with Ron Kopa. He's a low ball preference umpire, but he'll give belts, and he likes the corners. Big zone.
This is skied to the left side of the diamond. Ahmed makes the catch.
All right, time now for our Nissan keys to the game. And number one, figure out the rook quick. See as many pitches as you can. Make him throw some pitches. Get a book and make your adjustments quickly. And number two, control Aaron Hill. Aaron Hill has had some pretty good ownage on Madison Bumgarner. Not many people can make that claim for Aaron Hill.
He's got 3 doubles, a couple of home runs as this is bounced to Hill at third, and he's going to throw out Arias.
First baseman number 28.
So here's Buster Posey.
All right, time now for our Togos Big Play the Togos way. Last night, Buster Posey, a home run off for Josh Colemanter in the top of the fourth. That was the first run that the Giants would score off of Colemanter. They would scratch for another run in the seventh, and that would be the difference of the ball game. But Buster Posey, with a couple of hits off of Colemanter, continues his dominance over the Diamondbacks right-hander. And that's our Togos Big Play the Togos way.
So here is Buster Posey, and he looks at a strike.
Take a look at the home run spray chart, and just about every one of them is to the left of second base. The one exception to right field.
I have to tell you, I'm very shocked at that home run spray chart.
I am too. I thought he had a few more to right field.
I mean, I know you're not going to hit many at AT&T Park, but he's been known to knock a few out in visiting parks.
Yeah, I think of him as a guy that's not a pull hitter.
And a high fastball at 92. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hunter Pence on deck, just underway. In tight 2-2.
And the way that Buster Posey's been swinging the bat, I mean, it really doesn't make a difference if he knows the guy or not. He allows that ball to get into him so deep that even if he doesn't know him, not that big of a disappointment or disadvantage.
Second baseman Owings is going to throw out Buster Posey. You saw the Dodgers score. The D-backs are leading, and they're still hitting in the first inning. Here it's 0-0. And the lineup that he'll be facing looks like this. Enciarte, Owings, and then A.J. Pollock. Good numbers at home, and Pollock's a good player. Trumbo will be the cleanup hitter. Then it's Hill Ross and Tuffy Gozwich. It'll be Nick Ahmed hitting in the 8th slot, and then the pitcher, Andrew Chafin, will hit 9th.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the 25-year-old left-hander, Madison Bumgarner, two-time All-Star. Coming to this game 18-9 with a 2.91 ERA. That's in 31 starts, 208 strikeouts, over 41 walks. And for Madison Bumgarner, when you take your bats against him, you're going to see a low to mid 90s fastball with natural cut. It's going to bore hard into a righty away from the lefty. He's got a slider with two types of break. He can run it flat. He can put some tilt on it. He's got a curveball and a changeup. Very deceptive delivery with a low 3/4 release. And lifetime against these D-backs, 6-4, but with a 2.68 ERA. Let's take a look at the Giants defensively behind Bumgarner today, starting in their outfield from left to right. It'll be Blanco, Perez, and Pence, with Pagan getting another day off. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side of the infield, Arias and Posey on the right side. And Andrew Susak will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Inciarte. 1 for 4 on Monday. Had a couple of hits last night. Bumgarner waiting for Inciarte to get in the box. And his first pitch is in tight. Inciarte overall hitting .264, 4 home runs, 22 driven in. And a strike. He's 3 for 7 in 7 career at bats against Bumgarner. A little scattered crowd here today. It's 8-0. Rockies had 11 hits in the first inning.
Wow.
And the lights go off. So what, they thought that it was too bright in here?
Could have been some lightning.
Oh, Bumgarner's going, it's fine for me to pitch. Get in there and hit. There's a flare, and that's going to fall. So now Inciarte with speed is at first. And here's Owens. First inning, you got to, Bumgarner's got to be careful in that first inning.
Well, I think that's when you're most vulnerable as any pitcher. You're getting used to a mound, and normally when you miss with a new mound, you miss up, and you got to get a feel for all your pitches. But you don't like getting into your stretch right away, making it a stress inning right away. That's when you have to push.
Owens takes a strike. He's hitting at .268.
And ideally, you kind of like to ease into it. But when you get a base stealer on to start off a game, and there's no easing into it.
And it's down low. Owens 1 for 3 in both games in this series. And a quick toss to first. Inciarte, 16 steals. He's been thrown out 3 times. Crawford, Arias at double play depth. And it's outside, 2 balls and a strike. D-backs are 62-89. They'd won 3 straight until the Giants and PV beat them last night. 32-45 at home. And a base hit. So Owens with a solid single. And now it becomes a stressful inning. It's amazing how that can happen so fast.
No, you're right. The table setters have gotten on base, and here come the big boys.
Pollock hitting .311. Make that 2 for 7 in the series. and a strike, and it's 0-1. Bumgarner has held Pollock to 5 hits and 21 at bats, but he's got 4 extra base hits out of the 5 hits. Right out to Perez in center field. He will make the catch, and the throw is not in time. I don't know if Pablo Sandoval may think that he got him.
Well, he's taking a look into Bruce Bochy. They're going to take a look at it. Now, I thought they might have had a chance too. I mean, it's a nice throw from Perez. He throws right through the cutoff man. Safe.
Yeah, he was safe.
Yeah, big time safe.
Sandoval tried, whether he was trying or not, they tried that foot to block him off.
Now, once the ball hopped, he had to catch it, and that allowed that little window for Inciarte to slide underneath the glove.
So here's Trumbo. Trumbo hitting .239, 9 home runs, 49 runs batted in. Swing, ain't gonna miss. So a 100% strikeout situation for Bumgarner.
Yeah, the Giants are going to play the defense back in middle infield too. They'll give up a run to stand up a big inning, but in the mind of Bumgarner, he's going to try and handle this himself.
Oh, 2.
He just threw 2 fastballs by him, and when you can do that as a pitcher, you think you can do it again in a 3-strike situation.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Mike, how he's changed a little bit. Now he's starting to elevate more.
It's become a good pitch for him. I mean, for the longest time as a pitcher, you're taught, knee-high location, knee-high location. Then all of a sudden, you learn that by changing sight lines, it's just like another pitch. If you go up across the letters.
And Susac is going to tag him out. And no, they do not work on that play.
Well, I mean, they ought to.
Just go behind him.
This ball goes right by Susac, comes back to him like it's a pitch back, and Susac catches the ball and does the rest. One thing nice about this play, you don't have to worry about blocking the play. Susac gets it and realizes, hey, I'm the guy. Didn't have to even make a flip over to Bumgarner. I don't think Bumgarner even got down there in time. So what a huge break that was.
So it's 1-2. And this pop-up is out of play.
I don't know if Susac got crossed up or he just missed it or what happened on the wild pitch. Inciarte got a good jump. He's a fast runner. Well, you always look at how the breaks are going to go against you or for you in the game. That's definitely a big break for the Giants.
Out of play. Coming at him with fastballs.
Well, he can get stubborn to that fastball. You got 208 strikeouts on the year. I guess somewhere down the road you're going to gain confidence in that fastball, as good as it has been for him. Every time that Buster Posey call timeout, go and talk to him, says, hey, we need to throw a break ball here. He'll say, no, I'm not doing it.
And that's rolled foul. behind third base coach Glenn Sherlock. So there was an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, first curveball he's throwing. And it had a little hang to it, as a matter of fact.
And the elevator fastball, and that'll end the inning. Weirdness already in the first. Andrew Susac. This is rule 2 unassisted. There you go. No score.
On Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Big O Tires. Tires, service, straight talk. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
No score as we head to the second, and Hunter Pence will lead things off. Pence hitting .292. He's got 19 home runs, 72 driven in. And he takes down low. Pence 2 for 8 in the series. And he rockets one to right field, but Cody Ross is there to put it away.
Wow, I thought he was going to get a little more out of that.
Humidity.
Well, the Giants are in the thick of another playoff race for October baseball. If you're looking for access to Giants postseason tickets, it's easy. All you got to do is get on deck, and you can do that becoming a 2015 season ticket holder or member. Your $500 deposit gives you the opportunity to purchase all the potential Division Series home playoff games and a possible wild card play-in game. Giants reps are standing by. Call 415-972-2298.
Here's the Panda. Sandoval at .285, 16 home runs, 69 driven in. Sandoval, who likes to hit in this park, is 4 for 8 in this series. So that's pretty typical for him. Drives this one to right. This one is hit out to Ross again, and he puts it away.
I like the approach, thinking the opposite way, and I'm really thinking that this ballpark's playing like we haven't seen it play all year. Now, there is a lot of humidity because of the threat of rain in the area, and we have seen a 2-1 ball game last night. something very unusual here. And those two balls were hit well.
Yep.
Hit those early in the year, and then they have a chance of going out, both of them. And that's how different the ballpark's playing now.
Here's Andrew Susac. Susac hitting .281, 3 home runs, 18 driven in. Brandon Crawford's on deck. Look out. 2 balls and 1 strike.
So we've seen 2 types of fastballs early on from Chafin. See that little 4-seam fastball has got some cut to it. He just threw, and he also throws a 2-seam fastball.
Three and 1. By the way, happy birthday, Orlando Cepeda.
Cha-cha.
76.
The baby bull is 76.
Figure Orlando watching this game somewhere. And Susac takes the walk. First base runner for the Giants.
All right, time now for our forward right choice. Last night, Brandon Crawford gets Mark Trumbo for the first out of the 9th inning. What was so unusual about this play was that Crawford was playing to pull, and as hard and as fast as this infield is, we didn't think he had a chance to get over it, let alone get off a throw. And that was the first out in a 2-1 game in the 9th inning, and the Giants would have a 1-2-3 because of that play. That was our forward right choice.
It was a very nice play. Crawford hitting .240. You know he'd like to get that average to .250.
Yeah, this is the milestone month. I mean, the grand scheme of things, I mean, what's the difference between 248 and 250 if you've got 65 RBIs? I mean, that should be the key for him, don't you think?
Sure. But if you're hitting 240, you want to hit 250. You're hitting 250, 260 sounds pretty good. If you're hitting 260, oh man, 270 would be great. I mean, you just keep going up the ladder.
And if you're 240, you sure don't want to drop down to 239.
Do not.
That's when 240 starts sounding pretty good. But still, the RBI total for Crawford this year at 64 is fantastic.
Well, all of a sudden now, Chafin can't find the strike zone.
And this is also the very first time he's been in the stretch.
And Juan Perez, who doesn't have a hit in this series, he's on deck, and he'd like to have a hit in this series. So it's 3-1. If you're Crawford, look for something middle in and try to hit it in the pool. Three and 2.
Pretty nice breaking ball there in a 3-1 count. You've got to have some confidence in that pitch to throw it in that situation. Now, if you're Crawford, you just got through seeing that 3-1. Now you get short and protect. Forget the pool.
Susac will be on the move. He goes. Crawford into left center field. And we'll see if this one stays in the park on the bounce, and it does. And here comes Susac, and the Giants take the lead. Nice at bat.
Boy, I'll say. We've seen really some nice opposite field hitting in this inning. Hunter Pence, Pablo Sandoval, and now Brandon Crawford taking the 3-2 challenge fastball, staying inside it, finding a gap on the left side.
Like if this hits the track,
it's in the stands.
It's a ground rule double. So here's Perez.
And normally with an open first base and a pitcher up, you'd see ball 4 automatically. But with Bumgarner's hitting numbers this year, no chance. They'd rather pitch to Perez.
Low, 1 ball and no strikes. Perez 0 for 5 on Monday. And yesterday 0 for 4. So 0 for 9 in this series. One ball and 1 strike.
Well, chances are these guys saw each other. You look at the statistics for Chafin. He did face Fresno early in the year, and Fresno lit him up. They got 6 runs out in 4 innings. And a good chance that Juan Perez was in that lineup for Fresno.
Little pop-up out into shallow left field, and that'll end the inning. Giants on the board. Bottom of the 2nd coming up. Rewind. Last night it was all about Jake Peavy, and it was a big night. 7 2/3, 5 hits. He gave up 1 earned run, a walk. He hit a batter. He had 4 strikeouts. He threw 95 pitches, and that, my friends, was a major league game effort by Jake Peavy.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, boy. I mean, he brings it out there, doesn't he? Talking it over with Tim Flannery. Those two have been together since Peavy was 19. He's 33 years old now. So Peavy said Flannery's the guy that taught me how to play the guitar. And last homestand, he bought Flannery a guitar. It was out of 1943 Gibson. Beautiful.
Here's Hill. Hill hitting .244. And he hits this one out into center field. Perez got a good jump on it. 1 pitch, 1 out. Check out our Geico quote. It's Jake Peavy last night after the game on his next start in LA. He said, "I won't lie. I was just in the shower thinking about Dee Gordon." I think that got a pretty good chuckle out of everybody, didn't it?
Well, he was the hit of the clubhouse today. But I do hear what he was saying in that he was starting to think about his next start.
Yeah, he wasn't really thinking about Dee Gordon. He was thinking about how he could get him out.
Exactly.
Here's Cody Ross, who takes a strike.
Baseball players, you got to love them. Come on.
.250 for Cody Ross. He's got a home run lifetime against Bumgarner.
You know, I looked, and I did not see Cody Ross's son Hudson. And that usually is something that's quite entertaining.
Hudson was great.
We first met Hudson when he was about 2 years old, and Cody Ross was playing with the Marlins. And for all I know, he's playing outside linebacker for Arizona State now.
I mean, could be. He was wearing out his mom and dad. He didn't want to ride home with Dad. He wanted to ride home with Mom. Remember that conversation?
I do. Come on, bud. Come with Dad. No, I didn't want to. That was great.
High and deep and foul. Bumgarner, I think, said something to Cody Ross. Either that or he tried to give him the stank eye because he walked right down towards him.
They set up the inside corner, and Cody Ross was looking for it. Remember, it was Cody Ross that flipped his bat one time when he hit a home run off Matt Cain. This is before they were teammates, and Matt Cain didn't like that.
He did not.
And as it turned out, when Cody Ross came over to the Giants, those two were great friends.
But the subject was brought up very early in at least the first time Cody Ross came into the clubhouse.
Cain went right over to him and asked him about it.
And another 2-2. And it's fouled out of play. So a full count now to Cody Ross.
Bumgarner not happy with that last changeup. He kind of quit on it.
Three-two pitch. Here it is. Fouled again. Cody Ross can hit some high pop-ups, I got to tell you.
Well, he can be streaky, and he can be streaky with the long ball.
And the walk. So that'll bring up Gozwich. Gozwich hitting at .212. He's got a home run. He's got 7 driven in. He's faced Bumgarner 3 times and he's 0 for 3. And a mighty swing and a foul back, and it's 0-1. Bumgarner 4-2 in his career in this ballpark. And he'll throw to first. Ross is back. Cody Ross does not have a steal this year.
Tuffy Gozwich is a local kid. Went to Horizon High School here in Phoenix. Went to ASU.
Well, the way I see it with Tuffy, he can, throughout his entire baseball career, he can take his laundry right at home.
Yeah. Spring training, regular season,
college,
high school.
2 balls and a strike.
Tuffy Gozowich. I always say, well, Tuffy, what is Tuffy short for? You look at his name in the book, James Benjamin Gozowich, alias Tuffy.
Ross with his lead, 2 balls and a strike.
There are certain nicknames you know something about the guy before you ever meet him. Like a guy named Champ, nickname Champ. You don't want to fight a guy with the nickname of Champ.
No.
Tuffy. I'm saying you don't want to fight a guy named Tuffy.
Or Shorty, because usually the guy that's about 6'5" his name is Shorty.
Tiny Felder, 6'5", about 270.
No, they got that one right.
Oh no, he was 5'7", 190.
And a strike, and it's 3-2 now to Gozowich. We'll see if Kirk Gibson is going to put Cody Ross in motion.
2012, 2010 Fall Classic. Travis Ishikawa's on there.
Edgar
Renteria.
And a base hit to right field. Pence will toss it into second.
Well, right now, Bumgarner's up, and he's having a problem getting the ball down. Right across the letters in a 3-ball count. Gozowich goes out of the strike zone and throws it right into right field. So he looked at fastball, got it, and even though it wasn't in the strike zone, he beats it the opposite way. And the thing about missing upstairs is there's no ground balls up above the belt for the most part.
So here's Nick Ahmed. Bumgarner looked for the strikeout double play. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
You have to make pitches. You have to hit your location.
In the dirt, nice block by Susak.
It really was. Talk to young catchers about blocking, about the one concept that you have to have in mind if you're going to be a good blocker is when that ball goes in the dirt, you're not trying to block it with your glove. You're trying to block it with your chest protector. The glove simply covers up that hole between your knees. And that was perfect.
Ooh. Looked like a little bit of a flinch from Lance Barrett. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Blackman has just homered for the Rockies. It's now 9-0. Kevin Correa is in the game. Right here, it's 2-1. Runner goes. Swinging a pop-up. Sandoval, 2 outs. Good as a strikeout.
Indeed. Sometimes even better if you can do it within 3 pitches. But now they have the big unknown coming up here. Andrew Chafin coming up, and they really don't know if this guy can swing the bat or not. But in Bumgarner's mind, you got to believe that he's a good hitter, and you have to pitch him accordingly. You see the book on Chafin, 6'2", 220-pounder, 24 years old. He missed the entire 2010 year with Tommy John surgery.
kind of stunted his growth.
I mean, nowadays with that surgery, all you're doing is you're taking a year off. Well, look, you're working a lot. You're working hard to get back. But it hasn't really stopped many people from being just as good, if not better. One ball and one
Well, let's
strike.
put it this way: it doesn't stop teams from drafting guys that have Tommy John. I mean, it's not 100%, but it's pretty darn close. And guys who come back from it almost seem to be stronger once they have it done. That's how good the surgeries have been. How remarkable the surgeons have been.
Base hit. Moving over to third will be Gozowicz, and it's a 1-1 ball game.
It's got to be his first big league hit. And indeed it is. Set up on the inside corner with a little fastball with cut, and he inside outs it right past Buster Posey at first base. I mean, Posey never had a chance. Gets out the bag and it shoots right back past him.
So here's Inciarte, and he rolls this one to Buster Posey. Posey will tag out Inciarte, and that'll end the inning. D-backs tie it up after 2. It's 1-1.
Up as we head to the top of the third inning. Time now for our McDonald's True Stories. On this date, 1997, Giants take it on the Dodgers in Candlestick. Giants 2 games back. Barry Bonds, a 2-run shot in the first inning off Chan Ho Park. Kirk Reeder would go 7 strong, allowed a run, just 4 hits allowed, and Roberto Hernandez would close it out with 2 strong innings of relief. No hits, 2 strikeouts, and that is our McDonald's True Stories. Roberto Hernandez.
And I think that ground ball went to, remember Jose Vizcaíno?
I do. That's a good team. I like that 97
Yeah,
team.
they were fun. They put the fun back in the Giants baseball at the end of the 90s.
Yeah, but 96 was a rough year for the Giants. They had over 90 losses. In 97, they go to the playoffs.
Yeah. Zeal made that last out. Here's Bumgarner. It'll be Bumgarner, Blanco, and Arias. Bumgarner hitting .242. He's got 3 home runs, 13 driven in. And he bounces this one foul. And it's no balls and 1 strike. $15 for 62 for Madison Bumgarner. Hit a grand slam against these D-backs at AT&T Park. What was that?
Changeup. Kind of swung as hard as he threw it.
So they don't throw those either in North Carolina?
No, it's against the law.
Oh, 0-2 to Bumgarner. 1-2.
Trying to elevate that fastball.
Blanco to follow. Foul this one off of Gozwich.
Another change up, another kind of slow motion swing. Just 2 games going on around Major League Baseball right now.
And a base hit to left field.
So Bumgarner returns the favor to Chafin. Well, Friday, September 26th is African American Heritage Night. Your special event package will include a collector's edition bobblehead of Hall of Famer Willie McCovey, commemorating his 1969 banner season in which he won both the National League MVP and the All-Star Game MVP. And you also get a ticket to see the Giants take on the Padres. Go to sfgiants.com/special events. Reminder, to receive the McCovey bobblehead, you need to purchase the special event ticket.
Here's Blanco. Blanco popped out in the first. Takes his pitch inside. So now we're going to see Chafin out of the stretch.
Blanco tried to poison that leadoff spot since Angel Pagano has gone down these last 3 games because of some back problems.
Now, Perez led off Monday and went 0 for 5. Blanco led off yesterday and went 0 for 9. So leadoff hitters in the series are now 0 for 10. Two balls and a strike.
Blanco has hit lefties well this year, hitting .278 against them.
So the 2-1 pitch coming up. And Blanco bounces it foul. It's 2-2.
Golden Oldies today. They used to give the Golden Oldies uniforms. Now, khakis and a golf shirt.
Two pitch. Full count. Arias is on deck. No Dave Fleming today. Dave is on his way to Tampa. He's got a special assignment in Tampa. John Miller will be in the 4th inning. And the walk to Blanco, get it back. So there's the Hall of Famer. John gets a perk here. He doesn't have to pay for food in the press room.
That's right. Press room is free for Hall of Famers. John will join us the 4th, 5th, and 6th inning. There's Lee Jones, our radio engineer. Dave Fleming is on assignment
in Tampa. Something going on there.
Going to do a football game Friday night.
No, he's on assignment.
That's right, assignment. So Mike Harkey, the pitching coach, coming out to talk to Andrew Chafin. Doing some teaching right now. And plate umpire Lance Barrett's going, yo, Harkey, break up the rock pile. I mean, that is the job of the plate umpire. Keep the game going.
Well, if I'm the umpire, when the pitching coach goes out, I'm at the mound already when he gets there.
That has been suggested. Not accusing you of impatience, mind you.
Here's Arias. Arias takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. And Buster Posey's on deck. Bumgarner, a single. Blanco, a walk. And that's hit out right to Enciarte for out number 1. And here's Posey. Buster bounced out to second.
Buster Posey.
Chafin this year in Double-A was 4-1, and Triple-A he was 5-6. His ERA was sensational in Double-A, and then he got hit around a little bit in Triple-A. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
First pitch changeup. Had Posey out front. Nice pitch.
Really staying away from that fastball on the first pitch to Buster Posey. And a line drive, and this will be a double play. So the inning started out promising. It ended in a double play. Owens, Pollock, and Trumbo coming up. Area is brought to you by the California Earthquake Authority. Protect your home with earthquake insurance. Get an estimate today. Learn more at CaliforniaRocks.com. A 1-1 ball game here in the desert. Owens, Pollock, Trumbo. Bumgarner is allowed 4 hits. He's walked the batter. We got some good Giants fans here today. Remember, this was the longtime AAA affiliate for the Giants. Long time. When you thought of Phoenix, you thought of the Giants.
Yes, you did.
All those great players came through here. Players in the 60s and 70s.
I was a Phoenix Giant. One rehab start. Wendell Kim was my manager. I always thought that was one of the best AAA places to play.
Yeah. This is lifted out to left field for Blanco. Owens is retired.
Plus, it's pretty cool. I mean, Giants spring training was in Scottsdale, and it used to be in Phoenix. So if you were a AAA player, you kind of basically go to spring training and just stay there for your home affiliate when the AAA season started. This is not a AAA town.
I will say this, though. Things are a little bit different now than they were in the 60s and 70s. I mean, I know you can say that about a lot of towns, but you can really say it about this town.
We got here in 1973 and had Main Street in Scottsdale. And they had hitching posts in the middle of the street, and there were horses on them.
You know, people just don't believe that story. I mean, I saw it. I absolutely remember.
True. And you go to this place called Mag's Ham Bun, which is a sandwich place, Main Street in Scottsdale. And
there's a base hit. Came in an 0-2 pitch to Pollock.
Walk in there, and there'd be the hitching post with about 3 or 4 horses out there. You'd walk in there, there'd be guys sitting there at the bar having a beer, having a sandwich, and they'd have pistols on. You thought you were walking into the Old West. And I am not making it up. You didn't have to go very far to be out in the Sonoran Desert. Just drive up the street about a mile or so, and you're out there. Now, major city.
Trumbo, 1 ball and no strikes.
Still a lot of cowboy hats here.
One ball and no strikes. Trumbo struck out in the first inning. Pollock with good speed. He's got 12 steals. He goes, and this is fouled out of play. And Susac would have had a shot. Pollock's jump was just average.
Well, Bumgarner, one of the toughest guys in the game to steal off of. And you don't have to give Susac a lot of help, just a little, and he'll shoot you down. He's got a good arm.
And it's just slow.
Saw that little slide step delivery from Bumgarner out of the stretch position. And that move right there home is as quick as Kirk Reeder's was. And Kirk Reeder always was right around a second. The time he would start his motion to getting it to the catcher. One of the quickest consistently I've ever seen.
There's a strike, 2-2. 11-0. I still think the Dodgers are going to win, but that's my mindset.
Wait, there's more
with LA. So
it's now 12-0 Colorado.
It's not enough.
You're right. It's Coors Field. I don't trust it.
2-2 to Trumbo. Got him.
Nice back foot slider. Well, time to log on to csnbayarea.com and decide the player of the game. Your vote counts. Winners will be revealed during Giants postgame live You can follow the action of the Diamond like never before with enhanced Bloomberg stats and more. Giants in game live on csnbayarea.com. Log on right now and vote.
Oh. Bring your buddy.
Oh, yeah.
She did.
Service dog.
Wide to Aaron Hill.
That dog has a good life.
I have a strong feeling that that dog is spoiled.
Yeah.
Hill, remember, he's got a little bit of ownage on Bumgarner. He will probably be the third baseman here for the next couple of years. They do like Owings at second.
And there's those numbers we're talking about. Hill, I mean, he's one of our keys for Bumgarner to control him. 2 homers, 3 doubles in those 6 hits. And he will be swinging 3-0. That you can bet on. Good middle and hitter.
So it's 3-0 to Hill. It's 3-1 to Hill. Cody Ross is on deck should Hill reach. And it's a full count. So the base runner at first, Pollock, he'll be on the move. And the pitch. And no swing. So Hill reaches on the walk, and that'll bring up Cody Ross.
It's a big point in this ball game. Cody Ross's last at bat against Madison Bumgarner, he was on it the whole at bat.
Yeah, he wasn't fooled by anything that Bumgarner was throwing up there.
A lot of pitches today for Madison Bumgarner.
Been in trouble in every inning. So good speed at second in Pollock. And a strike, and it's 0-1. The look to second, and it's just a little low to Cody Ross. Bumgarner gets the sign from Andrew Susak. And the pitch, no, it's not a pitch as he spins around and takes a peek at Pollock. Bumgarner looks to second, and it's a late call strike. Cody Ross didn't think so. It's 1-2. This will be pitch number 60, so you're right. That's 20 pitches an inning.
That's a lot. You want to be 15 or less. And a lot of what he's had to do today has been out of the stretch.
Got him. Cody Ross strikes out to end the inning. John Miller, he'll be in. I'll see you back here in the 7th. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Giants Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Eric's Deli Cafe, who reminds you to put your pickle first.
1-1 tie. We're going to the top of the 4th inning. And here to tell you all about it is John Miller.
All right, and for the Giants, trying to get the offense going here. Runs have been hard to come by for the Giants since they arrived in the desert. In the 3 games played so far, they've only scored 5 runs. Just the one today. Hunter Pence leads off against Andrew Chafin, the rookie left-hander. Curveball in there for a called strike.
It's not unusual for the Giants to stutter step when they're facing a rookie for the first time, especially a left-hander. Chafin's been pretty good. He's showing 2 types of changeup, real good, quick little breaking ball, or 2 types of fastballs rather. A little slurpy breaking ball, but it's quick, and that changeup. And he'll throw the changeup at any time. It's been a good pitch for him.
Well, there's one, as you speak of it, outside, 2-1, 81 miles an hour. Pence drove one to deep right that was caught on the warning track his first time. Just missing on the inside, or apparently off the inside, and the count is now 3-1.
Now, that was back in the 2nd inning. I thought his at bat to right field was a real good approach. Pablo Sandoval did the same thing, and after they hit the ball, I thought they had a chance to get out of here.
And back to the changeup with a 3-1 count, 3-2.
I think this ballpark's playing a little bit bigger than it normally does because of the humidity in the air.
Well, we know it's not the wind. Here's the 3-2 pitch. A soaring fly ball to left. In comes Inciarte. One away. Pence is 0 for 2.
Pence is going to say to himself, I just missed that one, and he did.
Third baseman
Pablo Sandoval, he ripped one that was caught by Cody Ross on the run out near the 376 marker in right center, just as he got to the warning track. Pence 0 for 2. Have you seen the Hunter's music video.
Yes, I have. Hysterical.
Very funny and just a lot of fun, really. And he took part in it. He doesn't sing in it. Pablo with a soaring fly ball into left center. Big part of the yard. Pollock, 2 down.
And he does eat pizza with a fork.
He does in the video. You can go to YouTube and just put in Hunter Pence signs. It was all about, the video was about those signs that we saw in New York and started sprouting up. They were a lot of fun.
What's your favorite one that you've seen?
Well, it started with stuff like Hunter Pence eats pizza with a fork.
That's a good one. Hunter Pence listens to Disney Pandora. Yeah, Pandora Disney. That's what it is. That made me laugh.
Hunter Pence puts ketchup on his hot dogs. What an insult. The one I really did like the best was the one that said, Hunter Pence thinks Game of Thrones is just okay.
Yeah.
Hunter Pence, I asked him about that. He said, you know, now that one's actually true. He said his girlfriend is a big Game of Thrones fan, and she wanted to share it with him. And he watched the first episode, and she said, well, what did you think? He said, oh, well, it was okay. So he was impressed. He didn't just laugh at that one. He was impressed with it. I also like the one that said Hunter Pence eats sub sandwiches sideways.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was a good one. But he's just had a ball with it. I mean, it definitely has conquered the fear of having to laugh at himself. You kind of have to have that ability when you play at the big league level.
Strike 3 called to Susak. Still 1-1 as we head to the last of the 4th inning. Bumgarner about to go back to the mound.
Is presented by authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, Fan Appreciation Day, September 28th, the final regular season home game. Giants going to take on the Padres, and you will have the opportunity to win special prizes like tickets on Virgin America, Levi's $501 gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky fan will win the grand prize. A 2014 Toyota RAV4. No purchase necessary. Visit the Giants Dugout store for an entry form. Just join us for Fan Appreciation Day. For tickets, go to sfgiants.com.
Here's the look from the resort. Chase Field, the only ballpark that has a resort right in the ballpark. Here's Gozuish, the catcher, hitting 7th in the order. He singled his first time. Helped set up Arizona's run, and the curveball in there for a strike.
Oh, Madison Bumgarner needs an inning where he doesn't have to throw a lot of pitches. I mean, 61 pitches into it, averaging 20 pitches an inning. That's not going to get it done. But he has just not been as sharp today with the command as we've seen him in previous starts.
Bumgarner making his 32nd start of the year. Pitched 207 innings now through the first 3 today. That's deep down the left field line, and one hop to the wall. And Gozuish, who came into this game hitting .212 for the year, is 2 for 2.
Well, the problem that Bumgarner's had is getting the ball down. And 2 times Gozuish has beaten him upstairs with fastballs. This one right middle in across the letters, and he just rakes it. His last at bat, he had one above the letters in a 3-1 count, went to right field with a nice clean line drive. So Gozuish not fooled across the letters today from Bumgarner.
So here comes Ahmed, rookie shortstop, just brought up on Monday. He had been up earlier this year, hit over 300 in the minor leagues. Called a strike. Ahmed popped out to third his first time. Giants scored in the second inning. Brandon Crawford hit a long double to deep left center to drive in Susac, who had walked. And then Chafin, the Arizona pitcher, hit a 2-out single to knock in the tying run in the last of the second, as that foul goes out of play. 0-2 the count. Well, the Giants are battling here, and this has been a tough one. Bumgarner has looked vulnerable. The Rockies have just been having a party against the Dodgers, and it started right away. They just completely pulverized the rookie Carlos Frias. That ball goes foul. It's 0-2. Frias faced 11 hitters, meaning he's faced the whole lineup. He never got out of the first inning. He only retired 1. He gave up 10 hits to the 11 hitters he faced. No walks. He got an out on a caught stealing. And Justin Morneau, the third batter of the game, hit a 3-run homer, and then later knocked in 2 more runs. He had a homer and 5 RBIs in the first inning of that game. 1-2 to Ahmed.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers wound up getting 11 hits in that inning.
The Rockies.
Or the Rockies, rather. I've never seen that before. 11 hits in 1 inning, let alone the first inning.
Well, 10 of the first 11 hitters got hits. I don't know if I've seen that either. And, well, then you add in Morneau. The reliever faced him. That's 11 hits to 12 hitters. Pence going back. Gozuish tags up in second. And he will go to third. So a productive out for Ahmed. And the pitcher Chafin will come up with a chance to drive in another run. Chafin spent part of the year in Double-A ball and then Triple-A. And really, I think, intrigued the Diamondbacks enough to have him come up and make this start today with what he did in the postseason, the Pacific Coast League postseason series. He pitched in 2 games, 15 innings, and a 0.00 earned run average. He pitched a shutout against Las Vegas, the only shutout anybody pitched in the Coast League postseason. That's the Mets AAA affiliate. He also pitched 5 shutout innings in his only other major league start back in early August in Cleveland, in an interleague game. And who knew he'd get hit? His first major league at bat, he got an RBI single. That was in the second inning. The curveball, tried to check his swing, too late. 0-1.
Well, you never really know. I mean, they are big time X factors. And as you mentioned, I mean, he's throwing with a lot of confidence because of what he did in the postseason of AAA. So, Diamondbacks say, here, get after it.
Another curve, 0-2. Well, that may be a key, right? That confidence. His confidence level, he's probably never been higher as a professional with his confidence than he is right now. Two strikes to count. The Giants infield pulled in all the way at the corners. Pablo at third, Posey at first, and halfway in up the middle. A fastball, and he got a piece of it.
Well, I don't know whether he bothered throwing a fastball. That's a good swing right there. This kid's athletic. He showed that in his first at bat, and after the first 2 strikes, both of which he got with a curveball, and he just got a little lazy with that location on the 0-2 fastball, and he almost got burned on it. I mean, this is a pure strikeout situation. He's going to bury this guy with curveballs.
There it is. Did he go? Yes. Dana DeMuth rings him up. 2 down. It's wet outside here, just outside of the ballpark. And the big storm, the hurricane that hit Cabo San Lucas and that area, and then became inland. It became a tropical storm, a fierce tropical storm Odile after Hurricane Odile, and the outer portions of that have been hitting Arizona today, and a lot of rain is in the forecast here for the next day, and a lot of flood warnings and all kinds of stuff having been issued here in the Valley of the Sun. Last week, while the D-backs were in San Francisco, they had one day where they got more than 3.5 inches of rain here, which is an all-time record for one day. And more rain, a lot more rain in the forecast now. Ball 1 to the leadoff man, Inciarte. Runner at third, 2 down. 1-1 the score. Meanwhile, the Rockies party continues in Denver. They scored 2 more runs in the 5th inning, and they're still batting, and they lead 14-0 now. Kevin Correa in that game for LA. The curveball, strike called on the outside. Goswish, the catcher, on at third. There's the game totals from Denver. 2 hits for the Dodgers against Jorge De La Rosa. They're in the last of the 5th inning. That's a foul off to the left. Colorado, if they win today, their home record this year will be 41 wins, 36 losses. The Dodgers, who lead the division, their home record 40 wins and 35 losses. So you play the Rockies at home,
they're tough.
It's like playing a first place team in many ways.
Giants found that out a couple weeks ago.
Giants lost 2 out of 3 their last visit there. 1-2 the count, and he got that fastball and fouled it off.
I believe the last 3 games of the year that the Dodgers will play will be against these very same Rockies in Los Angeles. Take a look at what they've done on the road this year. You can't get too excited. They are 20-55.
So they're not just a bad team on the road, they're all-time bad. It really is remarkable. And Inciarte got a piece of that one to foul it off. 1-2.
But it's kind of how they've always been. It's really boils down to one thing. Whoever gets the last at bat at Coors Field has the advantage. And the standings really mean nothing because of how that ballpark plays. The beautiful thing about this game, number one, the Dodgers are down 14-0 in that ball game, is that they happen to be on the field a long time.
Inciarte down on strikes, and Susac Deposi for the putout. Another curveball there from Bumgarner. Stranding goes to in third. 1-1. Brandon Crawford coming up.
If you are celebrating your birthday here at Chase Field,
Area is brought to you by New York Life and the agent of the game.
Giants 1, D-backs 1 as we head to the 5th inning from Chase Field in Phoenix. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. Dwayne Kuiper has been moved over to the radio booth here in the middle innings. A lot of Giants fans in attendance. You know, I always thought you looked great in these big sunglasses.
Well, as is the case, always a lot of Giants fans here, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of Giants fans in San Diego over the weekend.
Madison Bumgarner coming up third in this inning. Andrew Chafin in his second major league start, and that's a called strike to Crawford. Crawford hit one extremely well to deep left center to knock in the Giants' run back in the second inning. And Crawford been a hot hitter. He's had 15 RBIs in his last 15 games and 65 RBIs for the year now. Oh, and 2.
No, he had a great at bat against Chafin to get that RBI. Split the gap in left center, opposite field.
He's hit .385 in his last 15 games. So Crawford, who was in a slump that lasted for a while, seems to have snapped out of that big time. Off the glove of Aaron Hill. That's a base hit. Crawford with the big turn at first, but he'll hold on as Hill has retrieved it. He's 2 for 2.
Center fielder, Juan Perez.
Take a look at the playoff picture. The Giants trailing the Dodgers 3-0. And keep in mind the Dodgers are losing that ball game in Colorado right now, 14-0. That game in the 5th inning. The Giants 2.5 games up over the Pirates, and that's for that first spot in the wild card.
2 wild card teams, and the 2 wild card teams will play a 1-game playoff. If it comes down the way it is right now, the Giants would host that wild card playoff against the Pirates at AT&T Park 2 weeks from today on Wednesday, October the 1st. The Pirates, for their part, are just like the Giants, though, in the Central Division. They're 2.5 games back of the Cardinals. They'd like to overtake the Cardinals and not have to play that 1-game playoff. Giants would like to catch and pass the Dodgers for the same reason. Although Bruce Bochy says that he refuses to get caught up in passing the Dodgers or the wild card. What he demands of the players, what he asks of them every day, is just focus on this game. Go out and win this game. Play hard. Give everything we got on this day, on this game. Crawford takes off, and he makes it.
Oh, nice play. As Gozowicz started to go to the left, Crawford realized after he took a secondary lead that Gozowicz didn't know where the ball was. And granted, that ball wasn't that far away from Gozowicz, who has a good arm. And it had to be a very quick decision. And it wound up being a big 90 feet. There's the break right there. Gozowicz comes back to the bare hand. But then it was too late. So nice instincts there from Crawford, who puts himself in score position here with nobody out. It's nice base running. Don't hurt your hand.
So now this sort of increases the stakes for Juan Perez, who has not had a hit in this series. He's 0 for 10. He popped out to short his first time tonight. Now a base hit could put the Giants ahead. He's got the pitcher Bumgarner up next, but who's a very good hitting pitcher. So he needs to move up Crawford one way or the other, either score him or get him to third. Now it's 3-0. And a walk would work as well.
Well, you're right. And even as good a hitter as Bumgarner is, it would set the bunt up for the top of the lineup.
He gets the walk. 2 men on, nobody out.
Pitcher Madison Bumgarner.
So the bottom of the Giants line today has been very productive. Tim Flannery having a discussion right now with Madison Bumgarner, and I believe the conversation is just going to be a reminder. If they get too aggressive on the corners in the bunt situation, you have free rein to pull that back and slash.
And he would not mind if it came to that.
But should go down the third baseline to Aaron Hill.
Crawford at second, Perez at first. He's not bunting. And that's ball one.
Well, you're taught when you're pitching to a bunt situation to throw high fastballs. Now that's the pitch that Madison Bumgarner likes. And because of how pitchers are taught, I think that Bruce Bochy took that bunt sign off, anticipating he was going to get a fastball for Bumgarner.
So it's 1 ball and no strikes to Bumgarner. He's not bunting again. 1-1.
And there's a changeup. So now that Bruce Bochy sees that, he may put the bunt on in the 1-1 count. I mean, you'll want to let him swing the bat. You just want to stay away from the double play.
Two men on, nobody out. Now he squares. There's the bunt, but foul.
Another changeup.
A ball and 2 strikes to Bumgarner. The one thing they don't want to have happen here is for Bumgarner to grind into a double play. Bumgarner, who has a batting average of .254, 3 homers, 13 batted in. He actually has a slugging percentage that looks like a slugging percentage, unlike most pitchers. .429. 1-1 the score, 5th inning. He squares around. And he gets the bunt down. That will work. Hill, the third baseman, to Owings covering, and Crawford to third, Perez to second. It'll look like in the box score, and then Bumgarner laid down a bunt. It was a lot more complicated.
Well, yeah. Anytime you can get it done in a 2-strike count, I mean, you've really earned your scholarship. And to get it done as beautifully as that, I mean, that's fundamentally how they draw it up. So you stay out of the double play situation, you move both runners up, and that's going to alter the way that the defense is going to play the Giants here in the infield.
8th sacrifice bunt successfully executed by Bumgarner. He leads the Giants pitchers in that category. Infield in. A little bit low on the outside. Blanco has popped to short and walked in this game.
And one thing rookie pitchers feel most comfortable in, and that's strikeout situations. And that's exactly what Chafin's pitching for right now.
Arias, the right-handed hitter, on deck. Up and in, and he fouled it.
I think he hit that ball about 5 inches above his thumbs. The ball was way in tight on him. He just turned around and played umpire Lance Barrett, so was that a strike? No.
Did it hit me?
Are my thumbs still here?
So what happens there? He just wants to pitch up, so try to drive it to the outfield. That was the first one that was up.
That's what he's looking for. Get pretty good speed with Crawford at third base. The best arm in the outfield for Arizona is in right field.
He drags the bunt. Breaking for the plate is Brandon Crawford. The tag out by Trumbo, but the run scores. And the Giants have a 2-1 lead.
And that's an RBI, a safety squeeze. And I don't think there's any way you can defend that when it is run properly. You can't run it any more beautifully than that. Not a suicide squeeze. The runner at third base has to identify that this ball is indeed on the ground. You're not crashing home. So once he sees it's down, he breaks. And Trumbo, realizing the only play he's going to get is the tag play on Blanco coming down the first base line. So an easy score. And Giants take the lead just like that.
It also gets Perez over to third base as Arias takes ball one. So 2-1. The Giants are back ahead here in the fifth inning. Arias, who's been a hot hitter, is 0 for 2 in this game. He has grounded a third, and he lined out to the left fielder his last time. Called a strike on the inside. In the last 19 games, Arias is hitting .458, and his batting average has risen in that time right up to the moment 71 points to its current .258. Right to the shortstop, Ahmed, and that's the inning. The Giants get just the one, and they are ahead 2-1 for Bumgarner. Owings, Pollock, and Trumbo coming up.
The Arizona Diamondbacks lead their season ticket holder.
Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Provident Credit Union. Make life easy.
The Giants back in front 2-1 over the Diamondbacks as we head into the last half of the fifth inning, and the 2, 3, 4 spots in the Arizona batting order coming up against Madison Bumgarner. The Giants trying to win this series and at the same time gain ground to the Dodgers, who are just getting destroyed by the Rockies today at Coors Field. It's 14-0 Colorado, and that game is going into the last of the sixth inning. Here is Chris Owings. He swung the bat well against Bumgarner today. Hit a single his first time. Flied out to left center in the third. He's 1 for 2, and it's 0-1. Busy day for Bumgarner as that curve is fouled. He just threw his 80th pitch of the afternoon.
Yeah, he's still looking for his first 1, 2, 3 inning. He has not had one.
A soaring pop fly, shallow center. Crawford out. It's Perez in. 1 away.
Well, fans, the next time you're looking to pick up great seats to the game, head to StubHub, where you can earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, including Giants tickets, plus all-in pricing. There are no surprise fees at checkout. StubHub, your ticket to upgrades and more.
Is that guy StubHubbing right now on his iPhone there?
Oh, yeah. He's getting his tickets for the San Diego series.
You said that. He put on his phone. Oh, thanks, crew. Good reminder. Good idea. Here's Pollock. StubHub. Is that with 1 B? Spell it for him, Mike.
S-T.
Back out of play by Pollock, who has flied out to center and singled.
StubHub. It's easier to spell than Killiecranky.
Oh, here we go.
StubHub. Yeah, got that one down.
Glad to help. 0-1 pitch. Curveball. Strike 2 called. That curveball has really become a great pitch for him this last 2-3 batters.
Yeah, it's been a good pitch for him today. I think it's been a better breaking ball for him today than the slider, which is normally the breaking ball he'll use most in a game.
0-2 the count. Fastball too high.
I mean, you never know what's going to show up, especially in September. You know, he's been pretty consistent to getting deep in ball games, a lot of pitch counts. There's going to come one start where your arm doesn't come back completely. You don't get all the strength that you normally get back on a 5-man rotation.
Did he swing? No, says Dana DeMuth. Not this time.
And because of that, you're not going to be as sharp. And the one pitch I think that suffers the most when you get a little fatigue in your shoulder is the slider. Today it has not really been there for him.
2-2 to Pollock. Trumbo, the cleanup hitter, is on deck. 2-1 the Giants lead in the 5th. Hit hard. Perez going back. Not going to be able to catch up to this one. Perez hurries it back. He's going to head for third, and the ball gets away from Crawford. It's a triple for A.J. Pollock.
Well, if you've got speed, I mean, you get the ball with the center fielder's head, you automatically think 3 bags. You see the location mistake up. And this is where he's been hurt today. Pollock, a nice opposite field swing of the bat. And once he gets out there over the head of a center fielder, you're thinking triple, and indeed he gets it. Interesting, the Giants are not playing in with their middle infield right now. Not with 1 out. You may see him adjust with 2 outs. Strikeout situation here for Bumgarner.
And Bumgarner has struck out Mark Trumbo twice already today. Curveball popped up. Posey hurries over. No. He wanted to do a slide so he would not crash into that screen in front of the dugout.
Pretty good effort right there. Protect yourself with the slide. And he was disappointed. Almost pulls it off. Just off the side of his glove.
Strike 1 to Trumbo. A curveball, a foul. Now it's 0-2. Now Bumgarner's pitching in a tight spot, and this pretty much has been his whole day. This is the 10th batter of the game the Rockies have set up there with a runner or runners in scoring position. We're only in the 5th inning. They've had 1 hit in 9 previous at-bats with runners in scoring position as a team against Bumgarner already. So he's had a lot of high leverage pitches to make. Fastball is fouled back and out of play.
That's right where he wanted that fastball though too. He tried to elevate above the hands. Trumbo did well to fight that one off.
Aaron Hill, another right-handed hitter, is on deck. The D-backs going with 8 right-handed hitters in their lineup today. Only the leadoff man, Inciarte, swings from the left side. 0-2. Curveball struck him out. And Susac will have to throw it. And Pollock's going to head for the plate. He will score. And Trumbo did not allow Susac just to reach out and tag him. He took off, forced him to make that throw. And Pollock gambled and won. 2-2.
Yeah, Susac gets up. I mean, he looks him back. Comes out. Get the ball. You look the runner back. He did. He sets his feet. But even despite all that, Pollock very aggressive from third base, and then get a brand new ball game. Throw was high, and Posey had to go up to get it, and that's probably what enabled him, Pollock, to be able to score.
So Pollock, in effect, steals home plate as the throw went over to first base. 2-2. Pablo fielded that tough hop cleanly. And he throws out Aaron Hill. Still a tie ball game, and we go to the 6th inning. Posey, Pence, Pablo coming up.
The Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by New York Life and the agent of the game.
It is 2-2. The Giants having a hard time shaking the D-backs, and A.J. Pollock sort of took matters into his own hands there in the Arizona half of the 5th inning, hitting a triple, and then coming home as they struck out Trumbo on a ball to the dirt. And Trumbo broke for first base, and as they threw to first, Pollock broke to the plate, and he scored. And Mike not scored as a stolen base, but rather the put out at first from 2-3, and Pollock scores on the throw.
I don't know if I agree with that call, and that may be contested at the end of the game.
Here's Posey. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike, facing the rookie left-hander Andrew Chafin. Well, I will say this, and maybe under the rules as they're written, maybe it needs to be scored that way. I don't know, but that was an out-and-out steal. He stole that base. He stole that run.
Well, that's how I saw it. That's how I think it should be scored. That.
Look out. High and tight to Buster.
I mean, don't you think that there should be some reward for that type of bravado at third base? I mean, he timed it perfectly, even when the catcher comes out and fundamentally does everything right, and he still manages to come home. I mean, that could be a steal. And stealing home, I mean, that's a feather in your cap as a base runner.
And again, it could be that the official scorer's hands are tied due to the scoring rules of baseball, but at the same time, if that's the case, I think that particular rule should be rewritten, because that's just an out-and-out steal. He stole the base. Here's the 3-1 count to Posey, and he walks. The Buster, who drilled one right to the shortstop into a double play his last time. He had a line shot caught by Ahmed, the shortstop, who turned it into an inning-ending double play. The Giants have had a few of those balls again today. 3 or 4 of those line drives right at people. The last couple of games here, the Giants have had so many balls like that into outs. Here's Hunter Pence. Pence has driven one to deep right, caught on the warning track, and he has hit a soaring fly ball to left. He's 0 for 2. Called a strike.
That's some paint right there. Well, Pence has had good balance in his at bats against Chafin. I mean, he's definitely seeing him well.
Pence, who leads the National League in base hits, hitting .291 for the season. Posey at first, nobody out. And change up for ball 1. Sound of ball is on deck. Meanwhile, on the out-of-town scoreboard, the Rockies just having a fabulous time of it. They scored again in the 6th inning. They lead the Dodgers 15-0. That game has gone into the 7th inning now. 1-2.
High fastball, boy. Every time you see a ball start to elevate up around the letters of Hunter Pence, you get excited because we've seen what he's done with high fastballs, especially in this ballpark. But not that time.
A ball and 2 strikes to Pence. In the dirt. Blocked nicely by Gozowicz.
Good place for that breaking ball. Where Chafin really has had the advantage here the first time through the 2 times through the lineup, because the Giants don't know anything about him. Maybe Juan Perez, maybe Andrew Suset, guys who may have seen him when they were at Fresno, the AAA level. The big leaguers didn't know, but after 2 times, 2 at bats, you get a pretty good read. You get an idea of what to look for at least. You've seen his breaking ball, you've seen the movement on his fastball.
Change up into the hole. Ahmed. That's a double play. And Pence says no. Pence was very adamant that he beat that throw to first base. And he was signaling to Bochy, which is what Bochy has asked his players to do. And Bochy is going to go out as Wotus talks to Sean Dunston in the video room to see whether or not the Giants should ask for the video review. What a play by Nick Ahmed to start what so far has been ruled a double play.
Well, I didn't think he had a chance with the speed of Hunter Pence. I don't know if there's enough there to overrule it. It's got to be pretty clear.
Well, they are going to take a look at it. Bruce Bochy has asked for the replay review. This replay review is presented by Xfinity.
The one thing you cannot take away, and that's how quick Nick Ahmed got that ball to Chris Owings. I mean, that was a remarkable play. He very quickly got the ball and off the right foot rifled a strike to Owings. And Owings, as we've come to find out, I mean, he's a guy that we first saw him as a shortstop. I think this is bang bang. I don't think this is going to get overruled. I think it was a complete tie.
Well, if they rule it a tie, then he has to be called safe. The ball has to beat the runner to the bag. If they arrive simultaneously, the runner's safe.
Well, that is what it says. The tie goes to the runner. I mean, it's not actually written that way, but it's inferred that way in the rule. But we've not seen it ruled that way by the folks back in New York.
Well, what will have to be seen by the people in New York, by the umpires at the command central there, is a clear shot that shows when that ball is in the webbing of the glove versus Pence's foot on the bag. And there you can assume that his foot was on the bag at the same time the ball got in the glove, but you don't see it conclusively. You don't see the ball in the glove.
See Dana DeMuth with the mustache on the left there. He's the crew chief, and he made the call at first base. I mean, he certainly cannot be faulted for that play. I mean, as close as that thing was, if it were to be overruled.
Now look here, at the moment the ball hits the glove, where's his foot? All right.
That's a tie. Now it's just a matter of what they're going to.
Now, if that's the way they see it, if they rule it a tie, then Pence is safe. As you say, it doesn't say tie goes to the runner, but it just says the ball's got to beat him to the bag. But they will not overturn that play. So no conclusive enough evidence to overturn it is the ruling out of New York.
That's just sort of the way it has gone all summer. Is it really has to be. There has to be evidence that does overrule it. That was just too close. It was just a tie. And ties have not been enough to overrule.
Well, if they're saying literally that we thought it was a tie and therefore we're not overruling it, then they better start reading the rule book. But and that last angle, I thought might have been. Again, you couldn't say it was conclusive. We need the super slow-mo, the more frames per second, because the physics of all of that. We miss some frames, the standard definition on high definition television on a replay like that. We don't, even though it looks like we're seeing everything, we don't exactly see everything. But well, it has to be clear and incontrovertible evidence that the call was wrong for them to. Now, if he called him safe and the D-backs went after him with the replay review request. Now, what do you think there? That was an interesting look. Was his foot on the bag, or was it just above the bag there?
I think it was a tie.
2 down, nobody on. Pablo fouls it back out of play.
But you bring up an interesting point about the camera, the super slow motion camera, and as we are getting a couple weeks away from, less than 2 weeks away from the playoffs, I'm wondering as to how many cameras that they are going to have dedicated to relay, and how many super slow motion cameras are going to have for that. Because as closely as those playoff games get played, that instant replay is going to be a huge part of the playoff scenario this year. And I would imagine there are going to be a lot more cameras just because they want it to be run properly.
Yeah. And the networks who will cover those games generally will use a lot of extra cameras and super slow-mos and the like. 2-2 now to Pablo.
Chafin was walking off the field. He thought he had strike 3 there. Now the X-Mo that they have here, the super slow-mo here in Arizona, this is what it was watching on this particular play. They were watching the play at second base with Owings and Buster Posey.
That's all. Pablo is 0 for 3. It's still 2-2. Last of the 6th. Bumgarner back to the mound.
Bay Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers, offering business and personal insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. Visit us at hefins.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
From the Sonora Desert, we're at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. The Giants 2, the D-backs 2 on a day where the Giants will seemingly have a clear path to gain another game on the Dodgers in the National League West. The Dodgers are just getting demolished by the Rockies 15-0 in the top of the 7th inning at Coors Field. But the Giants are having a hard time with the D-backs today, and their rookie lefty Andrew Chafin, who's limited the Giants to 2 runs and 3 hits through 6 innings. And Bumgarner has had his own difficulties. He's thrown 92 pitches already in only 5 innings, as he has had runners on base in every inning and runners in scoring position. Most of the hitters he's faced, it seems like, have come to bat with a runner in scoring position. Cody Ross takes one in the dirt, a changeup for ball 1. Cody has walked and scored a run, and he has struck out. That's it for a strike. Chafin, the Arizona starter. And Ross with a curve in the dirt. The count is 2-1. A lot of deep counts for Bumgarner today.
It's been a grind. Think about it. I mean, he was the leadoff hitter on the first. With 1 out, he walked the run of the second. He scored. With 1 out, a base hit in the third, a leadoff double in the fourth, 1 out triple in the fifth that would come around to score. So he hasn't really been able to have that 1-2-3 breather.
A late break by Blanco, but he gets there. 1 away.
Catcher, Tuffy Gozoish.
When you compare the stuff that Bumgarner has had in this game compared to what he had last Friday when he really shut down the Dodgers, it was night and day. But it's just a testimony to where he is in his career right now on a day when he doesn't have his great stuff or his great slider. He's been able to make it work with other pitches. It's been a grind for him.
Gozovic very softly. Pablo with the catcher running, gets it, nicely done, and that's the first time that Bumgarner has retired the light hitting catcher, who today has been one of the D-backs' best hitters.
Look at the swing and bunt, one of the more difficult plays for a third baseman, but the one plus is you have a catcher run down that line. He's not very quick, so he does have time to make the exchange. Nicely done by the Panda.
Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, and again, we cannot overstate what a great play he made to start that double play that the Giants contested on the ball hit by Hunter Pence.
Definitely one of the best plays we've seen in this series.
Chafin is due up next, but they've got Jordan Pacheco out in the on-deck circle as the Arizona bullpen is busy. Chafin having thrown 88 pitches through 6 innings. But this whole thing has been a very positive experience for Chafin already, so they may figure, hey, it's mid-September. This guy had a great run in the Pacific Coast League postseason, and now here against a contending team in September, the Giants. It's all positive for him. Let's get the bullpen going. They've got Delgado up in the bullpen. Plenty of room out there for Perez, and the inning is over. Dwayne Kuiper will be returning from the radio side for the 7th inning. Susac, then Crawford coming up. It's 2-2.
Now for our Toyota game summary, it's brought to you by your Toyota dealer. Here at Chase Field, the Giants 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. Diamondbacks 2 runs on 7 hits. Bumgarner has really made it work with stuff not quite like we saw in his last outing in San Francisco against the Dodgers, but he has gutted it out to 101 pitches, 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. Andrew Chafin has been impressive. Second start in his young career, and he has gone 6 strong with 88 pitches. Brandon Crawford 2 for 2, a double, an RBI, scored a run. A.J. Pollock has been the guy that has haunted the Giants the most, and that is your Toyota game summary. Time now. It's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. Randall Delgado, the new pitcher now for Arizona. We saw him make a start in San Francisco. For most of this year, he's been in the bullpen. He's got 4 good pitches and a plus fastball that's mid-90s. You'll see curveball, slider, and a changeup. 75 strikeouts in 69 innings. All tied up here, top of the 7th. Here again is Dwayne Kite.
All right, Mikey, and it's Susak to lead things off. There's Delgado with the big windup, and Susak doesn't waste any time as he lifts this one for Ahmed at short, and 1 pitch went out. Then here's Crawford. Crawford's been the guy offensively today. He's knocked in a run and he's scored a run. And the Giants only have 2 runs, so he's been involved in both of them. So here's Crawford. Down low. Juan Perez is on deck. So Delgado looking in to goes a witch, and the 1-0 is low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Delgado is supposed to be the guy to get this start. Diamondbacks scratched him and flipped the ball to Chafin, who was red hot coming off of 2 nice playoff appearances, postseason appearances for Reno, the AAA affiliate, and he pitched well today.
He did. Crawford wraps one into right field, a base hit. Cody Ross kicks it around. Crawford thought about it, but he will go back to first, and that's a 1-out base hit. He's 3 for 3. And here's Juan Perez. So here's Perez. Perez is 0 for 1. He popped out in the 2nd and drew a walk in the 5th. Delgado steps off the slab. Crawford's got 4 steals. He's been thrown out 3 times. Is that Gene Machi?
Gene Machi indeed starting to get loose in the Giants bullpen.
Perez takes a ball. 1 ball and no strikes.
Perez looking for a hit. Not been able to find one in this series. His last at bat, however, a walk, was a good at bat.
There's a strike. That'll even the count.
You know, it has really been frustrating for Juan Perez because every time he gets sent back down to Fresno, he lights it up. Always hitting over 300 there. Always one of those guys that hits in the top of the lineup, middle of the lineup. But here at the big league level, he's not been able to bring that confidence up here.
And when he does hit the ball hard, he hits it hard foul. It's 1-2.
Well, I guess it's better than not hitting it hard at all.
That's true. It is. But no one likes to lead the league in average on foul balls.
they had a stat, he might be one of the leaders.
Got him. Ishikawa's going to hit. It looked like a lot of what Perez did was going to influence who was going to hit, Bumgarner or Ishikawa. So Ishikawa's done a good job coming off the bench. He's done pitch hitting. It's over 300.
And he's got a little pop in his bat too.
And a strike, and it's 0-1.
Nice first pitch breaking ball from Bumgarner. Certainly, if you're Ishikawa, you're not going to go up there looking for a big slow curveball on the outside part of the plate.
Well, this at bat or any other at bats here in the 7th inning will determine whether Bumgarner gets a decision or not.
Well, that's important. I mean, Bumgarner on 18 wins had his chance for a 20-game season. So this is an important at bat for Bumgarner in that respect.
See, what he did was he really battled today. Did not have the best of stuff. 1-2-3 inning that came in the 6th. It's 2 balls and a strike to Ishikawa. Three and 1.
Now here's where you could
you lean on one.
Really look for one pitch, one location. And as you mentioned, he's got power, and he's got opposite field power too.
Pollock absolutely straight away in center field. Blanco's going to hit with Crawford at second base and Ishikawa at first.
Nice at bat. And Diamondbacks with trouble here, walking a runner into scoring position. And you know, with Crawford at second base, he's got better than average speed. With 2 outs, he's going to get a good job. Now to set the arms for you in the outfield, pretty good arms at left and center. I mean, not great arms, but quick release and accurate arms. The best arm in right field with Cody Ross.
Blanco is 0 for 1. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
Nice first pitch changeup. So Delgado's staying with off-speed pitches on the first pitch. A nice curveball against Ichikawa. Here he opens up the at bat to Blanco with a nice changeup.
Into center field for Pollock. And they'll end the inning. Giants strand a pair. Bottom of the 7th coming up.
Here we're all tied up as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Giants have a new pitcher. It's going to be Gene Marchi. And when it's time for a change, 6 oil change and auto service. Your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Take a look at the year for Marchi. 66 times he's come in for Bruce Bochy. He's 7-1 with a 1.89 ERA. For Marchi, fastball that can go low to mid-90s. Little slider on the 4th ball. 47 strikeouts against 15 walks. So it has become a bullpen game.
And Miguel Montero is going to hit. So here's Montero. Montero pinch hitting for the pitcher with Inciarte on deck and a call strike at the knees. Just had a visit from the Giants CEO Larry Baer, and he came in to inform us that we would like to send out our best wishes to Willie McCovey, who had a procedure. He's in the hospital, and we just want to wish him well. So stretch. Everybody here thinking about you on one of your old teammates' birthday, Orlando Cepeda. Inciarte's on deck.
Giants get back home. They're going to be giving out the Willie Mack Award.
Montero takes wide, 2 balls and a strike.
Most prestigious award you can win as a Giant, because it's voted upon by your fellow teammates, coaches, manager, and now the fans are involved with it. But always a great thrill to be a winner of that award and have it given to you by Willie McCovey himself.
Well, Machi's in danger now of walking the leadoff hitter, Montero.
This is where Montero starts the buggy whip with a 3-1 count, and he's going to think long ball here. And he's got pop. 9 home runs on the year for Montero.
The 3-1 pitch, and that's exactly what he did, and it's now 3-2. Three and 2 to Montero. Inciarte at first, or on deck. He got him. Holding on is Susak.
That's a nice comeback, down to count 3-1. So a big first out. And the kill pitch, that little forkball, even though it was up, still late movement. He gets to swing through strikeout.
Inciarte, he's 1 for 3. And at third is Sandoval, and there's a bunt, and it's going to roll foul.
Dodgers are coming back.
Yeah, I told you. That lead may not be enough.
It's now 16-1.
Rockies had 11 hits in the first inning. 11 hits in the first inning.
I've never seen that. I mean, 11 hits in 1 inning. I don't even know if I've ever seen that, but certainly not the first inning. So nice going, you Rockies. Hump babe. That a babe.
Driven to right, so that'll be a base hit.
Well, now let the games begin. You have a base stealer on.
So after that first inning, Mike, they've got 10 more hits.
Hey, it's Coors Field, man. We've learned that so many times. That place is like no other ballpark in the National League. I mean, there's other offensive yards, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, here, Wrigley Field, but nothing like Coors Field.
And a quick toss, and back is Inciarte. He's got 16 steals.
And 12 for 12 going to second. The only time they get him out is he's trying to get to third.
Well, let him steal second and throw him out going to third.
All right.
Does not go, and it's high. It's a ball and no strikes. On deck is A.J. Pollock. Two and 0.
This becomes a big pitch now. Sometimes you spend so much energy trying to hold that runner at first base, you kind of forget what's the most important thing, and that is the guy in the batter's box. And always is a guy you could put a play on. He's got good bat control.
Three and 0. And the plot thickens in a tie game. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And he gets the call. 3-1. Some umpires look for strikes 3-0, some don't.
Well, Lance Barrett does, and this is definitely one that could have been called a ball.
Yep.
So Machi catches a break.
If Inciarte was ever going to go, it would be on a 3-1 pitch. He does not, and it doesn't matter.
That's a mistake. So like the Diamondbacks did at the top of the seventh, they walked the runner to score position. Here Machi does it, only he does it with one out. So very quickly, Giants huddle up, talking about how they're going to play this one. And they're going to face the Diamondbacks' best hitter right now, and that's A.J. Pollock.
Now at center field, A.J. Pollock.
And this is what Pollock has done today. 2 for 3. Triple and scored around the fifth. Play at the plate that really could have been awarded a stolen base, and that's the run that tied the ball game up. So he just had a big afternoon. Rich Cantos and Sergio Romo did heat it up.
So here's Machi to Pollock. Not close. 1 ball and no strikes.
And there's not an open base here. I mean, you say, well, hey, there's nobody at third base, but with 1 out, that's not a base you're going to use. 2 outs, maybe, but not with 1 out. So he's got to get after Pollock right here. This is a big pitch. Down 1-0 in the count. Machi can get that ground ball. I mean, that fork ball, if you get that thing down around the knees, that's as good as a sinker. It will get ground balls.
One ball and no strikes. And that's dribble foul. This is the play Mike's talking about. This was a strikeout, and Susac did check on him. Going to throw a little off to Buster Posey. And Posey's throw off, and that's how they tied the game.
And they caught a break with the high throw, and Posey could not get his feet set in time to get off the throw.
And Machi will chase Inciarte back. A 2-2 ball game. A lot of base runners today for the D-backs. One ball and one strike. Two balls and one strike. Pollock, according to our notes, has never faced Gene Machi before. Arias goes in and has a word.
And with Machi's forkball, I mean, it really should be an advantage to Machi. But to reemphasize, Pollock is hot. He's seeing the ball well right now.
Perez out in center field. Inciarte will tag. Perez wisely throws the ball to second. It will put runners at the corners with 2 outs. And Trumbo will hit. Trumbo is 0 for 3. And he struck out 3 times. He's faced Machi 2 times in his career, and he's 0 for 2. The pitch. And it's a strike, and it's 0-1.
First pitch slider. Home run hitters who strike out a lot, and they can fool you.
0-2.
They could have 3 strikeouts, and all of a sudden, with one swing, ruin your day.
And he's still dangerous.
Always, even in this 0-2 count. But that last fork that he just threw him was a pretty good pitch.
It's a pretty good one. It's 0-2.
Pressure's on Susac here. He's got to block everything.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. He got him, and that'll end the inning. And some boos for Trumbo. Arias will lead it off. hashtag CSNBA fan photo. Name and hometown for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Jesse and Vicky Blake from Sacramento. They're here in Phoenix on vacation. And they couldn't be happier. Way to go, Jesse and Vicky Blake. How about 3 runs to make even happier? It's a 2-2 ball game. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Evan Marshall, the new pitcher now for Arizona. We've been impressed with this stuff. Good sinking fastball, good hard slider. 51 strikeouts in 44 innings. I'll tell you what type of stuff he's got. 3-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. Those are good numbers. So Kirk Gibson playing this one like it's a playoff game, as he should. He owes it to the Dodgers and the Pirates and the Brewers and the Braves.
Here's Panic. Joe Panic will pinch hit for Arias. And he's going to look at a strike, and it's 0-1.
A lot of pressure on a manager, even when a guy's managing a team that's not in the race. When you play a team that's contending, you have to play the game like you are a contender, because you, the other teams that are in the race, you owe that to them.
Panic bounces this one to Nick Ahmed, who throws him out. Here's Buster Posey. Once in a while we'll see a manager that doesn't look like he actually buys into that, but for the most part, you're absolutely right.
First baseman, Buster Posey.
Well, I know one thing. When I was on teams that were contending, I always looked at the team that we were playing against, who was contending against it, as to what lineup the team that wasn't contending was, and who was playing your contending team. I always looked at who they were playing and what type of lineup they threw out there.
Absolutely.
It meant a lot.
Buster this afternoon is 0 for 2. He drew a walk in the 6th. Down low, 2 balls and no strikes.
It's a good sink right there. That one pitch, and see why the Diamondbacks like this guy. You know, I mean, and over the years, that can give you an attitude about an organization.
There's a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pence to follow. 8th inning. Two and 2.
That is some nastiness right there. Now, the Diamondbacks have Addison Reed, who has been their closer, but if anything ever happened to him, this guy would pick up the reign. And remember, next year they're going to get David Hernandez back, and they're going to have a pretty good bullpen with those 3 guys.
And Posey uses all of his strength to hold up on that 2-2 pitch. It's a full count. So it's 3 and 2. And Posey gets underneath this one and skies it out into right center field. And Cody Ross makes the catch. 2 outs. And here's Pence.
Right fielder, Hunter Pence.
The other thing, too, about Evan Marshall, in case you're wondering, he didn't give up a lot of home runs. 44 and 2/3 innings, he's given up 3. And in this ballpark, that's saying something.
Swing and a miss, 0-1. Hunter Pence 0 for 3 today. Marshall sets right at the chin, and it's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Low again, 2-1. Pence would like to be able to get the ball up.
See the way the Diamondbacks play Pence. They pitch the gap in right center, give him the line in left field, and play him to pull in the infield.
Out of play. It's now 2-2. Sandoval waits on deck. As Pence battling Marshall and the 2-2 pitch. Here it is. And he pops it back and out of play. Pence waving that bat back and forth as he always does. Constant motion. Taps this one to third. And the throw. And they got him. Nice play by Aaron Hill, and that'll end the inning. Hill, Ross, Gozowicz coming up.
With MLB.com at BAT, the #1 app for live baseball. You can enjoy live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. So get your at BAT for your smartphone or your tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com.
It's a 2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th. And it's time for a change. Thanks Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Sergio Romo in now for Bruce Bochy's Giants. 61st time that he has come in on the year. For Romo, averaging over a strikeout an inning against 12 walks, 56 punch outs, and just 53 base runners in 54 innings. Those are all outstanding numbers. Finally has gotten his ERA whittled down under 4. So he inherits a 2-2 ball game.
So Hill, the hitter. First pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes. Hill is flied out, he's walked, and he bounced out to Sandoval at third. And a strike. And that evens the count. And the pitch to Hill, and it's a slider cued off the end of the bat, and it's 1-2. Romo retired Pollock yesterday, got a big out. Pollock to swing at a bit of a hanger, but if you get the guy out, it was an effective pitch.
You bet. Any pitch that gets it out, that's a great pitch.
Popped up. Hunter Pence. 1 out. Tune into the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KNBR tomorrow morning. I'll talk about the game with Murph and Mac on KNBR 680, the sports leader.
Cody Ross.
So here's Cody Ross.
Waiting patiently. Now they've got Giant shirts on I don't think I've ever seen. They may have made those themselves.
Very well could have. Strike to Cody Ross, facing his former teammate.
Yep. Both like Buster Posey. And this is not their first ball game. A couple of veterans. Concerned, but optimistic.
Swinging a slow hitter or tapper to Crawford, and Crawford's going to throw him out. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Duffy Gozwich. Gozwich against Bumgarner, 2 for 3. Inside breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Roma doesn't throw too many of those. I did not see where the target was. Maybe he didn't intend to, but he gets a strike.
I mean, sometimes you're up there aware of his slider, and then he'll throw a backup slider like that last pitch, and it locks you up. We used to try and throw the backup slider when we played catch. You couldn't do it. It's just a gift. But hitters see the spin of a slider, and then they freeze him. But Romo's a little different because he's got a no-dot slider anyway. And guys don't see a normal slider spin on his breaking ball.
The panic stayed in the game after he pinch hit. Gozwich got a fastball, and he fouled that one off the backstop. Romo looking in. He gets the sign from Susak. And the pitch. Tap. Pass Romo. Panic. Will flip it. Not in time as the ball rolls past Buster Posey. Going to be an infield hit. Once it got past Romo, as deep as Panic was playing, I don't care if the catcher's running or not much of a shot at it.
So a thing of beauty. And Gozwich has himself a 3-hit day. Now, if they'd have been able to pick that thing up on the first hop, they may have had a chance at it.
So here's Nick Ahmed. Ahmed has hit 3 balls in the air and he's 0 for 3. Swing and a miss. Jordan Pacheco has grabbed a bat. He's on deck.
Lobo taking a long time getting back up on that hill.
Outside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ahmed out of Yukon.
And a strike. 1 and 2.
Ahmed originally signed by the Braves. 2nd round pick back in 2011. He was involved in that deal when the Diamondbacks sent Justin Upton to Atlanta.
One and 2. And timeout is called.
Yeah, you take a long time as a pitcher and you're slowing things down. That's going to happen to you. But step off, regroup. No pitcher likes to start stop. But you cannot let it affect your next pitch if you do get stopped.
Got him. For the Giants, it'll be Sandoval, Susak, Crawford. It's 2-2. Friday night, we'll be coming to you from Petco Park in San Diego. Pre-game live is going to start at 6:30. We'll have the game for you right at the top of the hour. And you can see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. It's Oktoberfest on Comcast Sportsnet. That'll be game 1 of a 3-game series. A 2-2 ball game. And when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair expert.
Addison Reed, the new pitcher now for Arizona. He is the closer. 31 saves on the year. He's had a good season for the Diamondbacks. 65 strikeouts against 13 walks and 56 in the third. And interesting, tougher on left-handers than he is on right-handers.
So here's Pablo Sandoval, who's hitless in 3 at-bats. Susak is on deck. And it's a bit outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
One thing about Addison Reed, I mean, he gives up a lot of home runs. In 56 in the third innings, he's given up 10 big flies, and that's a lot, especially for a closer.
In some ways, maybe in a really roundabout way, it sounded like maybe you were making a call.
Well, inferring it could happen.
So we're not dialing long distance. We just have the phone in our hand. Swinging a high foul out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's true. I'm not sure that's within the rules of a broadcaster. Certainly, if we were players on the bench, you could make a call. Come in, operator. Dialing long distance here. But I just don't think it's entirely appropriate for a broadcaster.
That's why I didn't say you were. Maybe you were going back to the old days. 3-1.
4 pitches, 4-2 seam fastballs. He's got a little deception in his delivery of a big crossover step. That's good and it's bad. It's good and then it's not an easy pickup, especially for a guy hit from the left side. Bad that you are cutting off power and you are losing velocity when you cross over like Reed does.
Well, he's staying away from Sandoval. And the walk. So here's Susak. Susak 0 for 2. He did score a run in the second. Crawford on deck. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Good hard slider there.
Sandoval with his lead. 0-2.
Back it up. Slider. A quick 0-2.
By the way, Pacheco is holding on. Sandoval at first. Oh, and 2. Got him.
2 sliders and a fastball on the outside corner. Susak did not think that was a strike, and that's a rough walk back to that dugout. Set the target wide. Fastball right to the glove. You got to protect that.
Here's Crawford, who's 3 for 3. We talked earlier in the game about start shooting for maybe hitting 250. Crawford started out the game at 240. He's now at 245. 3 for 3. And he takes a strike.
Tucks a little slider into that outside corner at the knees. In a way, he kind of does you a favor showing you that slider early in the count.
Swing and a miss. Nothing in 2. So a quick 0-2 to Crawford. It's 1-2.
Easy take there, and all of a sudden, Tuffy Gozewich's going to come out and say, "What was that?"
Tuffy didn't. Reed did not want Gozewich to come out. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Then he turned his back on him.
He didn't want to hear about it.
So it's 1-2. And it's in the dirt. Back door or back foot breaking ball. 2-2.
That's a good take right there. That wasn't that easy to take. That was a nasty slider at that back foot, as you see. Santiago Casillas starting to heat up a little bit. Jeremy Affeldt, the lefty. Score remains tied. You'll see Affeldt. Giants go ahead. You'll see Casillas.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Crawford. 3-2.
He's had nothing but good at bats today. Took this from 1-2 to a full count. Crawford already with 3 hits in his back pocket.
Well, what do you do with the Panda? We're going to find out. 3-2.
Well, Reed puts a lot of balls on the ground. I bet he's going.
And Reed freezes everybody.
2 things that are considerations. One, what type of pitcher is he? Well, Reed's a ground ball guy, strikeout guy. And what type of day is Crawford having? Well, he's hitting everything. He's got 3 for 3. Send him.
Sandoval goes. Swinging a foul. Spoiled a really good pitch, and we'll do it again.
That was right out there at 93 with movement running away from Crawford at the knees, outside corner, man. One you got to find out. Third pitch, trying to get a little mojo. Pet the rookie's head. Gary Brown obliging. Hey, it's not crazy if it works, right?
Not in this game. I don't mean this particular game, but not in the game of baseball, that's for sure. It's an everyday game. 3-2. Sandoval goes. Foul back and a good rip.
Good battle. All right, and watch the reaction.
See Buster's into it?
They're all into it. It's that time of year. It only means everything. They already know that the Dodgers have lost today and they can pick up a game. Came into this game trailing Los Angeles by 3 games.
And another 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Sandoval goes, swinging a shot to right, and it's going to fall. And Sandoval has to stop at second base. Cody Ross did the smart thing. He knocked it down. 4 for 4 for Crawford. And Brandon Belt's going to hit. And we get to see the baby giraffe. How about that?
Well, he's been missed. All right. Does it work? Yes, it does. And the reaction from Pence. Get down. Your magic, Rook. Your magic. Yeah, just a little way to make a rookie feel part of it.
Absolutely. So here's Belt. So here's Belt. Swing and a miss, 0-1. So you figure his timing really isn't there. August 6th was his last at bat. But you're just playing it that a guy's got something in him that could help you win a game. It's 0-1 to Belt. We asked him, look, how do you feel? He said, well, I'm hitting Mark Gardner really well.
Well, Mark Gardner, the Giants bullpen coach. Yeah. And after the game today, he's staying here in Arizona. He's going to go into the Giants minor league complex, and he's going to get some live hitting tomorrow against young pitchers. But that's about all you can do to get them ready for game situations.
2 balls and 1 strike.
Hardest thing to do when you've had a long period of inactivity is to find a strike zone.
Well, he's always had a pretty good eye. And he will look for a strike right here. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and two.
That was nasty. And that's as hard a slider as Reed can throw right there, and it was big and it was late. And look at the snap on this thing. Well, you tip your cap and just hope he doesn't throw another one.
Duffy, Matt Duffy's on deck. 2 and 2 to Belt. Sandoval at second, Crawford at first. And it's down low. So pretty good at bat so far.
Great pitch, great take. Addison Reed had a pitch to play with there. Now, with a 1 out, he doesn't have an open base at third. He has to come in the strike zone. He does not want to walk Sandoval over to third and set up a runner at third, less than 2 out scenario. So this has got to be a challenge. And that 2-2 was his chance to go out of the zone and hope that Brandon Belt would chase, and he did not. That's an excellent take.
Here's Reed as he spins around. Sandoval not going anywhere, I don't believe. Three balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. He walked him.
How about that at bat, huh? The one thing you really don't have is a honed in eyeball to the strike zone, and he works a walk. And how he laid off that 2-2 slider, I have no idea.
No, I think he saw it once, and that helped him. Well, here's Duffy. Mike Harkey's going out again for a word.
Now they're going to talk about Duffy as a hitter and what they know about him in his young big league career. They know he's aggressive at the first pitch. And that may be the message to Reed. Stay away from the first pitch fastball challenge.
So Duffy's going to hit. One thing Duffy has shown as a pinch hitter, he's not intimidated as a pinch hitter.
Oh no, he thinks he belongs here, and that's half the battle when you have a young player.
Hill will play in at third. Pacheco will play in at first. Ahmed and Owings will not. One and 0. Duffy, we've seen Duffy really be aggressive. And I think if that pitch had been close to a strike, he'd have taken a swing at it.
I agree.
Sandoval at third, Crawford at second, Belt at first. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good hard 1-0 slider. So 2 pitches. He opened him up with a cutter and then dropped a 1-0 slider on him. So he's seen the weapons that Reed has. So now make your adjustments with what you just learned.
Nice take by Duffy. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blanco's on deck. Reed ready. The pitch. Duffy's batless.
Wow. Pretty good bat throw right there. About 10 rows up in the stands. All right. It's got to be the weirdest feeling. Fastball challenge. Shooing. And there it goes.
Well, now
fortunately, everybody's okay.
Duffy's in the same spot Belt was. 2-2. So you have to put the ball in play. If you have to take a little bit out of your swing, you got to do it. 3-2.
And again, the same type of pitch that Reed threw Belt 2-2. He went down below the strike zone with a slider. And Duffy with a good take. And that'll bring Gozowicz out to talk with Reed. And I think he's pumping him up for a 3-2 fastball. Maybe that's how he got the second strike. He threw a fastball.
Probably telling him, look, this guy can't hit your fastball.
I'm certain that was what the sales job was all about.
Three and 2. And now Duffy. He's going to ask for time.
Get back in there, control the rhythm of the at bat, like you're taught.
3-2. And a base hit into center field. They're going to wave in Crawford. He's going to score, and Duffy comes through. How about the at bat for that kid?
And they did not go with the challenge fastball. Reed went at it with another slider, and Duffy made it pay. Wow. Yeah, he believes that he belongs here. 3-2, get it in slider. He goes right back up the middle. Beautiful AB. And the Giants lead by 2. So it went from Gary Brown to Juan Perez, but Hunter Pence found a lucky head to beat on a little bit, and it comes up with a 2-out or a 1-out knock from Matt Duffy.
4 for 10 with 4 RBIs this year is Reed's going to leave when it's time for a change. Think Speedy, oil change and auto service. Your oil change tune-up and repair experts. Good at bats. Wow. Ninth. Matt Duffy comes up with a base hit with the bases loaded. And we've seen maybe just as impressive the hits were a couple of the takes. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Matt Stites, the new pitcher now for Arizona. 23 strikeouts in 29 innings. He's got good stuff. Got a real good changeup. Slider combination off the fastball that goes low 90s. In his 33rd game of the year, he does get a wild hair up his nose, however. 16 walks in 29 innings. That's a lot, and he has given up 5 big flies.
Blanco is 0 for 2 in the game. And here he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Pennington comes in for Ahmed. He's now at short. That would mean Pennington is going to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning. And that's foul past Roberto Kelly. Blanco knocked in a run with a sacrifice bunt in the 5th inning. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. So panic is on deck. Sandoval opened up the inning with a walk. Crawford along at bat single. Belt drew a walk. And Duffy with a base hit on a 3-2 pitch. Blanco, a little pop up that Hill's going to run down. 2 outs. And here's Panic.
Second baseman, Joe Panic.
I mean, on the flight from Phoenix to San Diego, they might let Duffy get a whole roll.
I gave him 2. He had a whole roll coming in. He had your seat.
I wanted to sit next to my brother. Look at that. He's got the only hit for the Giants with a runner in scoring position.
He's the man.
Here's Panic, who fouls it back. that almost went right at John Miller.
I think John would have made the play.
I think John would have. I don't think he would be a duck under the counter guy.
No.
No balls and 1 strike. And when somebody's not here to defend themselves, maybe Dave would be a duck under the counter guy.
Well, he's not here to defend himself, so
he wouldn't do that either.
Nah. There's John. Lee Jones, our radio engineer and producer, in the back.
1 ball and 1 strike to Panic. Panic bounced out to short as a pinch hitter in the 8th. 2 balls and a strike.
Not a bad pitch there.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
We've seen Stites at time have a fastball that goes high 90s. I mean, he's got quick arm action, and it gets on you quick.
And Panic is out. That's 97, and that'll end the inning. A lot of big hits this inning, done bigger than this one from Matt Duffy. He lines it into center field and knocks in a pair, and we will go to the bottom of the 9th.
But with the bat, he has had 4 hits in 4 at-bats. He has been a difference maker all day long, all series long. He is red hot, and he is our Honda player of the game.
So Pennington, who came in on the double switch, he will lead things off. It's a 4-2 lead for the Giants.
Santiago Casilla, the new pitcher now for the Giants, their closer. 16 saves and 20 ops this year. And a save in last night's ball game. Nice clean 1-2-3 inning. And you say it every time he comes in there. It all starts with 1 strike.
And Pennington lifts this one out of play. 19,000 here today, 272. Giants will head to San Diego. The Diamondbacks will head to Colorado. Out of play again. I looked at the schedule, Mike, and I mentioned that Phillies and Padres are playing tonight. We wanted to practice. Well, if you don't, they're playing again tomorrow.
Well, I might take you up on that.
So pick one of the 2 days.
It's September. I could use a little practice.
Two and two. Peavy would be happy to go back, although he's not going to pitch in San Diego. He will be pitching, however, in Dodger Stadium on Monday. Pennington fouls another pitch out of play.
That Duffy, life is good. Good to see a grinder like Duffy rewarded. These are huge at bats he's having when you consider what they mean to the Giants season. Think about where this team would be without the contribution of Duffy, Andrew Susac, Joe Panik, all rookies. They've had a lot to say with where the Giants are in the standings.
Got him.
Good curveball. Matt Duffy coming back to the Giants dugout. A hero's welcome. Well deserved. A lot of fun. I mean, the hardest part about a rookie sometimes is just fight from smiling. You want to try and keep that game face as best you can. Sometimes it's just not an easy thing to do.
Here's Inciarte, who's got a couple of hits today. And a strike.
Giants a day off tomorrow, a chance to rest their arms up, and then that's it. There will be no more days off. 3 in San Diego, 3 in Los Angeles, 4 at home against San Diego.
And a breaking ball, and it's 0-2. You see it way out in front, no balls and 2 strikes. Down low, 1-2. Chris Owings to follow, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Susac pulls on, got him. 2 down here in the 9th.
Boy, and again, the kill pitch, that curveball, which really has been a good pitch here for Casilla the last week and a half. That's a pitch that he picked up. Gary Brown has come into this game and started to play center field. The Giants 1 out away from winning this series and picking up a game on Los Angeles.
So here's Owings. Swing and a foul held on by Susac, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Giants trying to cut it to a 2-game deficit behind the Dodgers, with Colorado beating up on LA today 16-2. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Boy, that is just a late, hard, snapping curveball.
So now Giants fans are standing. Down low. 1-2.
Duffy, a kid from Long Beach, going into Southern California and San Diego. You imagine he's going to have quite a pass list. Friends and family over the weekend as the Giants play the Padres.
1-2 pitch. On the ground, foul. And Sherlock flipping it into the seats. It stays at 1-2.
Long Beach, about an hour north of San Diego.
You might have a few Monday too.
When the Giants tee it up against the Dodgers. Yeah, I would imagine.
2-2. Owings has been on base twice in this game. He singled in the first, walked in the seventh. Two balls, two strikes. Foul to the backstop. Boy, Casilla ran that right in on his hands.
Good two-seam fastball. Like Casilla, I mean, he's one of those rare closers that will really utilize both fastballs, the two-seam and the four-seam fastball. He understands it. And he's not one-dimensional, just throwing one type of fastball to lefties and one type to righties. He uses them both.
Two balls, two strikes. And now Owings asks for time. Two and two. Casilla gets the sign from Susak. 3-2.
Sanogo's still there. Casilla not happy. Not want to put that tie and run in that batter's box by way of a walk. And Pollock, the on-deck hitter, has been the best hitter for the Diamondbacks in this series.
Three and two. On the ground, Sandoval, tough hop. And Owings is going to reach. It'll be an error on Sandoval.
Yeah, that's a rough hop right there. Just a two-hop explosion that came up on him. That little do-or-die tried to get his feet right on it. Hits a little low in the heel. He can't quite pocket the ball, and as it skips away, just too much speed for Owings to get a second chance. So the Diamondbacks are indeed going to get that tie and run in the batter's box.
And here's Pollock. Pollock is 2 for 4. Breaking ball, no balls and one strike. Pollock not happy with the call. On the ground, Sandoval. Sandoval, Posey, and that's the ball game. And the Giants are 2 back in the National League West as they pick up 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they hold on. And this is what the playoff picture looks like. With the Pirates, their game just getting underway. You can see the Giants 3 up on the Pirates in the wild card, but only 2 back. in the National League West. Nice game today for the Giants, and Mike, look, they go 13-6 against Arizona. So overall, just a nice ball game.
Well, in a nice series, considering they lost the first game. Remember, coming into this series, they hadn't lost a series here since April of 2012, so they are comfortable in this environment. But still, given the conditions and the pressure, they played great baseball. And the biggest hit of today goes to that rook, Matt Duffy.
Final score here at Chase Field: Giants 4, Diamondbacks 2. Esurance Giants postgame live is coming up, but first, let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio.
Final game 3